Hello again, and how are we all? Right, let's get into the thick of things. Okay, so we've had some more information concerning the Meg movie, which I wanted to talk about a while ago, but sadly life kind of got in the way, and personally I didn't want to do like 2-minute videos on every little update. I'd rather do it in one big collective video for you guys. It's easier to watch and it's easier for me to produce. Now there's a couple of things that have come out since the last update. One of them more recently, and it was concerning an interview that director Eli Roth came out and talked about some of his plans for the movie. Now, as we all know at this point, Eli is well known for his gore-filled screen contributions, shall we say. Now, to anyone who has seen anything like Hostel or any of his previous work, you know it's going to be gory as hell. Personally, from a standpoint, I don't have a problem with Meg being gory. Mainly because I've read all the books, and I've got to be honest, some of the deaths in the books are pretty graphic in terms of description. Like, I'm pretty sure it's Primal Waters, where it talks about one of the Megs attacking a group of seals, and it describes how one of the seals gets its head crushed in quite vivid detail. Despite the fact that Steve Alton says he's not a fan of overly gory stuff, which is understandable, but I don't know, Meg is pretty gory. So there's that out of the way, but now on to the biggest piece of news. Now, Eli has come out and said about using CG effects for the shark. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. CG, oh my god. Because almost every film now is a CG fest. I mean, you can look at stuff like Transformers and other films. I mean, there was a little bit in Mad Max Fury Road, but it wasn't the main thing. With stuff like Transformers, it's easily understandable. And sometimes using CGI in movies is just unavoidable. And it's understandable with Meg. I mean, you can't have a huge animatronic. They had this problem with Jaws, and the shark stopped working repeatedly. And Bruce, which was the name of the animatronic shark they used in that film, was less than a quarter of the size of this megalodon, which is going to be the star of the movie, obviously. Now, interestingly enough, I've got the quote here that Eli did touch on, and it goes a little something like this. "We've just turned the script into the studio, and I'm now designing the artwork now. I'm doing some character and creature designs. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait." And then he touched on the use of CG, and you talked a little bit about Ron Howard's upcoming film, In the Heart of the Sea, which made him more comfortable using CG for the shark. The rest of the quote goes like this. "The thing is with Meg, the size of the creature, it sort of becomes impractical to do it practically. But I've seen how they've done the whale in the Heart of the Sea. They've shown me footage, and they're like, before you judge CG, have a look at this." And I was like, my god, the whale in the Heart of the Sea looks so good. I was like, alright, we're good. I wouldn't do the movie unless I believed in the technology was there to do it. And the great thing is with Warner Brothers and the team we're doing it with, they have the resources to do it right. So after seeing this article online, I immediately went to the trailer for The Heart of the Sea, which I'll link on here, and I'll let you guys judge for yourselves. But personally, after seeing that whale in that trailer, if they do the Meg in a similar way to that, then I'm sold. You know, in the book, like I said in my review, the shark is both terrifying but yet beautiful. It's kind of hard to remember my exact quote, but make it terrifying as well as awe-inspiring and beautiful, and you've got me. That's all I'm saying. If you manage to pull this off, I'm 100% behind it. No doubt. Now, naturally there's been a bit of debate on the use of CG for the shark. Like, some people have said, for the majority of shots, feel free to use CG, but for some stuff, like in the Meg book, the original one, whenever you see the shark's head just breach the waves, you go with the animatronic way with that. I can understand where people are coming from when they say that, but realistically, personally, no. I'm using the Jaws argument here because, like Eli said, if it was a smaller animal, then realistically it would be practical to do. It would stand out like a sore thumb in today's movie industry and that general entertainment forum, if you want to call it that. But doing a lot of stuff practically, like it was done in Jaws in 1975, it's just not tangible in this day and age. I don't know. What do you guys really think of that? Let me know in the comments. But this is by no means the end of this video, because there is something else to talk about. Now, this being Eli Roth, obviously, there's going to be a fair amount of gore in the film. Now, Steve Alton, I'm pretty sure, is not a huge fan of splatterfests, shall we say. I'm pretty sure that, personally, he's not big on films like that. But I got to admit, after reading the entire series of books that are out so far, some of the deaths are described in a very graphic way. So, like I say, I have no problem with Eli's approach, because if he can make it really good, I don't mind gore, but I don't want a huge, excessive amount. I want it to be graphic, let's be honest. So those of you who have read the Meg books like I have, some of the way that the deaths are described is really graphic, like guts protruding and limbs just gone. It doesn't pull any punches where that's concerned. Oh yeah, there is something else I want to talk about. Not just the gore aspect of it, but there was an article that came out about a week ago where Eli was talking about why he wanted to effectively rescue the Meg movie. Now, Meg has spent more time in the works than probably any other active Hollywood project, but Fangoria actually got an interview with Eli about this, and I'm just going to give you a little bit on what that was about. In the interview, he said, everyone's been great, everyone has been very respectful. Obviously, Meg is a big budget project. He's working with a fantastic writer, Gene Georgas. I've butchered that last name. Went in with very clear ideas on what the movie's going to be. He's read every draft that's been written. He's read the novel. He's also read Meg Origins, the prequel book. That's interesting, because that is the big build-up to what Meg is. That's effectively the entire backstory. So he's obviously going to tackle the events before the first book. I think a lot of the film is going to focus on the build-up. Like, it's going to have bits from Meg Origins, maybe half an hour or so on the build-up of that, and then the rest of it is going to be what the first volume was, Meg, a novel of deep terror. So about 25% of Origins and the other 75% on novel of deep terror. Now, the rest of the interview goes like this. This is the movie as I would see it. This is the version of Meg I would do. Eli was very upfront about this. From where he wanted to go with the story, and it seemed to get positive reception. There were certain constraints in place. Some people were saying, you know, let's start fresh and go over it. And the writer, Dean, put in an amazing draft. So that script's now been sent off. They're now looking on the design for each of the characters. So there is progress. Let's be honest, there is a lot of progress being done now. But this is Eli's very first kind of studio film, you know, full-on studio, because other stuff he's done like Green Inferno and Knock Knock were 5 million. Meg is 100 million easy. So there's going to be a lot of opinions and voices in the mix. So effectively, that's all for in terms of an update. Now, I'm going to be doing these in big collectives. As I said, I'm going to allow information to build up and share my thoughts and opinions with all of you guys. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to link the trailer to In the Heart of the Sea, so you can decide for yourselves if you want to see the Meg in that respect. You know, so you know what Eli was referring to in the various articles and interviews I've mentioned in this video. I think that pretty much wraps things up as far as news is on the Meg movie so far. Right, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, see you guys.